Don't be afraid. Today we have a deck tech on Toby, Beastie Befriender from Duskmourn. Let's get into it. Toby, Beastie Befriender is a 3-mana 1/1 that comes into play with a 4/4 white beast creature token that can't attack or block alone. Also, as long as you have 4 or more creature tokens you control have flying. This deck seems pretty straightforward to build, and it kinda is. It's just a token deck that's going to focus on making a lot of creature tokens and make them the best attackers possible. So we're going to focus on the token makers and the token payoffs. Let's start with the token makers. Starting off, we have Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. This vigilant human knight will give you a bunch of human creature tokens whenever you attack for each opponent, so our token army is going to get wide fast. Why would we focus on making one token fairly when we can make double or triple tokens? And that's where these cards come in. Anointed Procession, Mondrak, Glory Dominus, and Ojurtok, Deepest Foundation, will really double and triple our tokens. The Ixalan Commander decks really gave us a busted card for a token deck. That's Charismatic Conqueror. If our opponents choose not to let their artifacts and creature enter tapped, we get a 1/1 white vampire creature token. Since Toby creates a token on ETB, if we blink him, we can get more of those beast tokens. That's where we're going to run Cloud Shift and Ephemerate to get a 4/4 beast for 1 mana. Court of Grace does a couple of things for us. One, it's a token maker. It can make you a 1/1 spirit or a 4/4 angel, but more importantly, it gives mono white some card draw. Felidar Retreat does a few things for us as well. When a land ETBs, we can either make a cat token or buff our whole team. Now we found God for our token build. That's God Eternal Oketra. Whenever we cast a creature spell, we get a 4/4 zombie warrior with vigilance. This deck really plays to the board, so we need to run some board protection. That's why we have Grand Crescendo. This is going to protect our tokens and make us tokens. It's an absolute win. Illustrious Wanderglyph is going to give us a gnome token at every upkeep, and if we have the City's Blessing, all of our artifact creatures get +2/+2. It's Big Bunny time. We've got Jacked Rabbit. This Ravenous 1/2 is going to get huge when you pay the extra X in the cost, and you make white rabbit creature tokens whenever it attacks equal to its power. March of the Canonized is going to give us a huge token burst. It's going to give us a bunch of 1/1s, and if our devotion's high enough at our upkeep, we get a 4/3 flyer. Myrel, Shield of Argive, is going to give us protection during our turn from our opponents, and it also creates a ton of tokens when it attacks, equal to the number of soldiers we control. Nesting Dovehawk does a few things for us. One, it's going to populate at combat on our turn to give us our best token, and when a token ETBs, it's going to get a counter. This thing will get huge and swing in for max damage. Old Tech Matter Weaver is going to give us a 1/1 gnome artifact creature token every time we cast a creature spell. It's like Oketra, but only worse. Reverent Hoplite's going to give us a ton of 1/1s when it ETBs equal to our devotion to white. And we play to the board. We're mono white. We'll have a ton of devotion. We're going to fire off Secure the Waste at our opponent's instep so we can untap with a ton of white warrior creature tokens, and our token army will flood the board. Our final token maker is Wedding Announcement. It's going to give us 1/1 white human creature tokens, or it's going to let us draw a card, which we really need in mono white. However, the backside leads to our next point, token payoffs. Wedding Festivity just buffs our creatures. That's about it. Our first token payoff is Angelic Aberration. This devoid Eldrazi angel is going to turn all of our 1/1s into 4/4 angels with vigilance, so we can really crack in for that damage. Caretaker's Talent does everything this deck wants it to do. It's going to draw us cards, create copies of tokens, and buff our tokens. This is probably the best card in the entire deck. Hopefully you're a mathematician, because Cathar's Crusade is going to put so many counters on all of your creatures, you're going to have to do a lot of counting and play with a lot of dice. I hope you like it. We have to run the original Elesh Norn. This card's too good in a white deck not to run. It's going to buff all of our creatures by +2/+2 and shrink all of our opponent's creatures. Now my 1/1 token will trade with your 5/5. Mission accomplished. We finally found a home for Halo Fountain. It's going to create tokens, draw us cards, and more importantly, win the game when we have 15 tokens. Inspiring Leader is just going to turn Toby into an anthem for all of our token creatures, buffing them by +2/+2. Intangible Virtue is about in any creature token deck because it gives them a buff and gives them vigilance, so now Toby's going to make them flying vigilant monsters. Guess what? I'm a tool. I have to run White's Craterhoof Behemoth, Moonshaker Cavalry. It's going to make all of our creatures huge, give them flying, and we'll win the game in 1 turn. Prop of the Steel Legion is going to turn all of our 1/1s into 2/5s on our turn so they won't die in combat, and it creates soldier tokens. That's something. Rosy Cotton of Southland is going to turn all of our creature tokens into +1/+1 counters, so we can make a huge threat, spread it out, do whatever we want. It's our deck. Securitron Squadron is going to let all of our tokens enter with an additional +1/+1 counter, but more importantly, you can squat it to make tokens of it to get even more counters and more tokens. Last but certainly not least, we have Ultramarine's Honor Guard. It's just an anthem for all of our creatures, but we can squat it to make more anthems and more tokens. If you want to see the rest of the spice I added to this deck, check out the deck list on Moxfield, link in the description. So anyways, thanks for watching, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.